Hello guys, once again it's Matt and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe. We are trying to hit 50,000 subscribers. And let's get into it, guys. So another thing that was confirmed, I think it was yesterday. And I'm doing a lot of these videos because now I have the proper time to actually do it. Because before it was the dev server and stuff. So yeah, now I can actually start to just talk about the things that will come in the patch, that will come in the future. And starting to just basically have fun talking about the game, right? So yeah, it's been just posted that obviously the T90S, which is an export model of the T90, that was basically being added for the UK as an Indian vehicle, will not be part of this update, okay? The Vijayanta, I think it's called, will come this update. But they say, the coolest part is that they say that in the future, they do have plans for some other Indian and Commonwealth in general vehicles to be inside the British tree, to be added to the British tech tree, which is very interesting, right? They basically have no confirmations specifically at this time. They say only that these vehicles are being considered. So no confirmation, obviously. But there are many vehicles that can come due to this Commonwealth thing and this Indian Air Force kind of thing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, right? The first thing that you need to notice that is that, I don't know about you guys, but I guarantee that the majority of the community doesn't like very much for every single tech tree to be too similar to each other and have copy-paste vehicles, right? So having Soviet/Russian vehicles, for example, in the UK tech tree as an Indian vehicle would be kind of doubtful that everybody would like, basically. So, and we can see that with other examples as well. For example, the Dassault Rafale, it is an aircraft that the Indians use. The Sukhoi Su-30, the MiG-29, the Mirage 2000, the MiG-21. They used many other aircraft from multiple nations, and they are a very diverse air force, a diverse navy, diverse country in the general sense of the vehicles that they use, right? And it wouldn't be fair for the UK, for example, in a like weird way to have, for example, a Mirage 2000, a MiG-29, and in the future the Eurofighter Typhoon, right, in the same tech tree. I mean, just because it's Indian, right? First, because, I mean, India would be already feeling a little bit weird maybe that they are putting them together in the same kind of country as the UK because, you know, history. But other than that, I mean, come on, like, the UK have their own aircraft. And I think they have to just, and I would imagine that the majority of the community, as I said, would agree with me that they need to just continue to put stuff on the tech trees that they need to be put it, right? So, for example, in the Indian subtree, for example, or as event vehicles or whatever they want to call it, or add it as India, for example, for the UK, add vehicles that are at least unique enough to be kind of a different design inside the tree, or vehicles that are modifications of already British vehicles. So I have 3 examples over here, 2 of them for already vehicles that are from the British tech tree, and 1 of them which is a very unique vehicle. So we have, for example, the Sea Harrier FRS-51, which is very much the same as we already have, you know, the FRS-1 version. As an event vehicle, it's pretty much the same aircraft. So it's a Sea Harrier, it's a British aircraft, you know. But it has some differences, some cooler, different kind of little things that they can add. Of course, the skins and stuff, but also it can be fitted with the MatAWG 1 missile, the R550, right? So yes, it's a French missile in the UK line. I mean, you can say that it's pretty weird, but it is a British aircraft, right? So it would make sense that this thing is added as an Indian vehicle. They were even later upgraded to use an Elta Raider, an Israeli Raider, together with Rafael Derby missiles. So even if they want to, they can even give Fox 3 missiles to this thing. So imagine having like a, I don't know, tier, like a rank 8 premium for a future rank 9 or whatever you want to call it, but basically a premium for you to research the Fox 3s and stuff, aircraft that are going to come from the 90s and stuff. This would be a very cool one, a very high BR, very poor performance compared to other aircraft, but it has derbies and an Alta radar, right, and magics and stuff. So it would be very, very cool to see that, an aircraft that it wouldn't be pay to win because it would suffer in the sense of performance, right? But it would have very, very advanced missiles that could basically mean that the aircraft would be competitive. Another example that it would be very cool, it's the Sepcat Jaguar IM, which is a single-seat marine Navy version, basically Navy strike rate version for the Indian Air Force that used a different radar, or I don't think any of the original ones used, but still used the Agave radar, and it carried the Sea Eagle anti-ship missile. So it was even upgraded with Israeli stuff. There is another version, just a normal ground attack version with like Indian stuff called the Jaguar IS. But the IM would be a very, very cool one. It would be like the Marineflieger, nothing too crazy. It would be like a 10.0 aircraft, or I don't know. But it would be very cool to have just a different aircraft with anti-ship missiles and stuff, and a cool skin for India in that tech tree. So these two aircraft are aircraft that are already in the game, kind of, right? So it wouldn't be too much apart from the original UK aircraft. So that would make sense to be added as an Indian aircraft, for example, right? And even more unique stuff, as I was saying, in the future, for example, in the far future, I don't know the capabilities of these aircraft, so I would need to do a proper research. Research takes time, so yeah. But for example, the Tejas, a lot of people like this aircraft. It isn't maybe the most amazing thing ever, but it is a very unique aircraft. It has a 404 engine, so the engine on the F-18, the engine made by Volvo as well, and used in the Gripen. But it is a delta wing, like a Mirage, so very different design. It has a thrust to weight close to 1.0. It has a 23mm Grisha 23 gun, so weird, right? And it has a multiple like types of missiles and from different countries. R-73s, Derbies, Pythons, SRAMs, Astra Mark 1, the R-77, many of these missiles. So in the future, something like this can be added. Uses precision-guided ammunition from both sides of the Iron Curtain, if you will. Some anti-radiation missiles, some anti-air-to-surface missiles from their own models and also from the Russians. So, very unique aircraft in general. And it would be very cool to see this because, if they're not going to add a proper, Indian tech tree, which I think they will not, something like this needs to be added. It's a very, very interesting aircraft, right? So why not add it to the UK tech tree in the future, right? It would be kind of complementing the Eurofighter or something like that. So, yeah, these are very good ideas, in my opinion, for an Indian sub-tree, or even Commonwealth, if you will. You can search more countries. There's a lot of countries in the Commonwealth that can be added. But adding a Russian tank or adding like a MiG-29 because the Indians used for the UK, just because they don't have anything else until the Eurofighter, for example, would be very, very nonsensical, in my opinion. It would be just kind of crazy. And it wouldn't make much sense, in my opinion. So, I don't know. So, very good news that they are considering these aircraft to be added for the UK, so that the UK line can actually be a more unique and desirable tech tree to research. But also, it makes me kind of afraid that I really don't want... it's like adding an M1 Abrams for the UK because the Australians used it. Come on. They have the Challenger. It's supposed to be unique, each tech tree. Some of them will be better. Some of them will be worse. But there are options there to not need this, So, yeah. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about this. Do you agree that these sub-trees or, the Commonwealth in general vehicles will be added to the game? Do you agree with me in the sense of that I don't like the idea of Russian and American vehicles in the UK tech tree itself, like a CF-18 for Canada? I wouldn't enjoy that in the UK line. I mean, come on, add it for the US, right, if you want, like as an event vehicle or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, and I see you guys on the next one. Subscribe, and bye, guys.